Here's why I don't have any courage and neither need it nor require it, and why you don't need courage either in anything that you do. Courage, by its simple definition, is your ability to do something whilst being frightened by it. Well, there's something in linguistics and psychology called presuppositions, and that is for you to make sense of anything in the world, for you to make sense of reality, you have to presume that things are already true. In other words, for you to be able to recognize what gravity is, recognize that when you jump 6 feet, if you could jump 6 feet, that you would land, you have to presuppose that gravity exists, that you are on Earth, that you are on land, that you accept the nature of mass, the nature of the science of gravity and speed and velocity. Things that you don't need to think about, but you presume already to be true in order for you to make sense of the things that you're talking about. Do you understand? Let me make that more clear. Why don't you need courage? It's because when you require courage, you presume already to be true that you are frightened by something. Now let's look at a different definition of courage. The other definition of courage is your mental strength to venture, persevere, and withstand danger, fear, and difficulty. Your ability to persevere and do things whilst recognizing the danger and the fear and the difficulty of it. So before you even go do something, for you to require courage, you presume already to be true that it's something you fear, it's something that is difficult, and it's something that you recognize is dangerous. Now, what's the counterpart to that? What is it that you do instead of having courage? What is it that you develop? You develop any other thing outside of courage, but first of all, you recognize something. You recognize what are the presuppositions in your mind. What if you presuppose that it is easy, that it is... Oh, my cat's entering a bag. What if you, first of all, presuppose, before you go do something, what if you presuppose that it's easy, that it's not fatal, it's not dangerous, it's something you could definitely do, and if you do the right thing, if you have the right strategy, and it's something you don't require fearing. I like to say that I have no fears. And I've proven that to be true. And people say when I say that I have no fears, do you mean like you have zero fears? Like you don't fear anything at all? You don't fear being hit by a car when you cross the road? To which I say, no, I literally have a zero fear. I only recognize if either something is fatal and dangerous in that way, in a fatal way. That means if I go do it, will I get killed? Or if it's something that if I do, I'll be able to do. It may be challenging, which is okay. Nothing in life that's worthwhile is going to be, well, let me rephrase that. A lot of things that are worthwhile in life are going to be challenging. Otherwise, they wouldn't be worthwhile. That goes for some things, not everything. The counterpart to that is that people think that things that are worthwhile requires to be challenging. People imagine that things that are worthwhile has to be hard. And to which I say, why does anything have to be hard? Why does anything have to be difficult? Think about that for a moment. Most things in life are not that hard. Most things in life are not that complicated because of how complicated you'd like it to be. Do you understand? You determine whether it's complicated or whether it's not. Even rocket science is fairly simple. It's as simple as recognizing what do I need to learn to be able to operate this rocket. Do you understand? What must I learn to be able to operate this rocket? Now, it could be simple, doesn't mean it's easy. Just because something requires 5 years to learn something doesn't mean it's difficult. That doesn't mean it's not simple. It's simple, it's just not easy. I'm mixing up things there. So for you to require courage, going back, requires that you presume already to be true. You presuppose that you fear it, that it's difficult, that it's something dangerous that could be fatal. And so how do you fix that? First, you think about, well, is this something that's dangerous and fatal? In which case, how do I make it so it's not fatal? What should I do? Or should I even do it? Perhaps I don't need to be doing it if it's too close, if the percentage of fatality, first percentage of my dying is high. Is it difficult? Well, like I talked about, it could be simple. Nothing in life has to be difficult outside of the complications that you add to it. People in psychology. People in your psychology, people complicate things as an excuse to not be able to do it, to have an excuse, to have an out, to say, hey, well, it was really difficult, it was really complicated, so it's okay that I failed. It's probably really simple. You just didn't have the enlightenment or the knowledge yet or the experience to be able to accomplish it, and that's okay. Doing new things and getting new outcomes and new results that you like requires risking not being able to do it. And is it something you fear? Going back to the notion that I have no fears, I have zero fears. And to which people say, aren't you afraid you're going to get hit by a car? To which I say, I'm not afraid of being hit by a car. I recognize if I cross this road, I'm going to look both left and both right. And if I recognize and I see a car coming and I recognize it's really fast and there's a high risk of dying, I'm not going to cross that road. I would be an idiot to cross that road. It's not that I don't fear, going back, I don't fear being hit by a car. I'm just not going to do it. I recognize that if I cross the road, there's a high likelihood I'll die, so I won't do it. If there's a low likelihood that I die, it was really far and it looks like it's going really slow, then I don't require any fear at all. I'll just go do it recognizing, hey, there's a very, very low likelihood that I die. So, do you require any courage? No. The thing that you do require, so what do you do? What do you require to be able to do anything that appears to be challenging, that has a high likelihood of fatality, and something that get rid of fear entirely. You don't really require fear. So if something is challenging, that's high likelihood of fatality. You risk assess. You assess the risk and how much risk you're able to tolerate. And you say, well, this is within the threshold of things that I would do. The risk that I can take. It looks like it's a fairly moderate speed, but it's really, really far. I can take that risk. Or it could be that this is outside of the threshold of the things that I'm risking, that I would risk myself doing. Perhaps the car is in moderate speed, but it's really close. That's too close for my comfort. I won't do it. And so you establish that and you presume that, okay, this is something that I would do, then I'll go do it. If it's something that's difficulty, recognize what is it that I need to experience or learn to be able to do that thing. Or should I just go into it recognizing that it would be challenging, that there would be things that I would not be able to do, and when I'm faced with that problem at that moment, what will I do? You plan things, you refine the plan, and then you execute, you launch, and then during that launch, when you have a problem, recognize, was it a design problem or was it a launch problem? Going back to the previous video. If you like this video, share this video with other people. Like and heart this video, I would appreciate that. If you have any thoughts, I would love to hear them in the comment sections below. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I do these videos every other day. I'll talk to you next time. Remember, you don't need courage to do anything. You only need some mental acuity, some mental intelligence to recognize, to assess the risk, and recognize you don't have any fears outside of the fears that you create, you construct for yourself. And the level of difficulty is based on your experience. And recognizing that having the confidence that when you're facing that situation, you'll know what to do. That is what confidence is.